go.
Okay, we can officially start our first stream. Sorry for all the gremlins, everyone. It's my first time running Quest of the Braille, but that's no excuse. These guys are going to give me a hard time anyway. Quest of the Braille, it's going to be an ongoing series. So this is Electric Bastionland for the next 4 to 6 weeks. And after this, we're going to have a gentleman named Matt running Cyberpunk, which is pretty exciting. But today, I'm Jim. I run Knights of the Braille. I'm going to be running the stream today and GMing. And with me is Blind Temple. We've got Danny and we've got SK, aka Sightless Combat. So go around, introduce yourselves, tell everyone about yourselves and what you got going on. Let's start with Temple.
Me, I'm Blind Temple, at Blind Temple on Twitter. I help with blind accessibility issues and all around information. If you need a game, I can help you find one. If you need information, I'll refer you to the Knights of Braille. I'm just your friendly neighborhood blind guy.
Thanks, Temple. He is friendly and he is in your neighborhood, so watch out. Next up is Danny.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm the old guy in a Spider-Man costume outside your window. Be afraid, very afraid.
We all knew that joke was coming about being in the neighborhood, but we all still laughed.
Yes. Oh yes. I'm Danny, aka Danny Marie AUC on all the social medias. I consider myself an advocate for people with albinism and people with various visual impairments. But mostly I just like to talk to people, and I like to play video games online, and I like to write things. So we have a good time.
Yeah, and you can find Danny at Danny Marie AUC on Twitter. And then up next we've got SK.
Hello, everybody. Or everybody, if you want to make a joke about the dice rolling bot, because why not? I am Sightless Combat, SK Combat, Sightless, any number of those things as well. Names-wise, I am an accessibility consultant and gamer without sight, so I have no sight whatsoever. I am from the UK, in case you couldn't tell by the accent. And no, blind toes, we will not have a drunk SK, as you asked in the chat. Certainly not. But yeah, you can find me. Oh, good lord. I don't. You can find me on Twitter at Sightless Combat. I'm hosting this on my channel as well, so to anybody watching from my channel, hello. I will not have the chat up to look at because I want to keep focused on the game, though. I may sort out a way to actually stream this as well in the future. Who knows? So that people can see my feed directly and sort of, I can see the potentially hilarious comments about my decision making in game, or things I could have rolled for, or any number of other things. You may know me as Mittens Cable Finder from Cat RPG, or rather, I should say, there we go. That's usually how Cat RPG works, and I'm really looking forward to this. This should be a lot of fun. So exactly, MBG, exactly. So you can find me at Sightless Combat on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube, and at www.sightlesscombat.com as well for reviews and accessibility articles and whatnot as well. So yeah, thank you so much for inviting me onto this. Really looking forward to being a part of it.
Thank you for coming, man. I'm really excited to run our first blind people stream with you guys. Help let people know that we're playing TTRPGs and that PDFs still aren't accessible for them, and we would really like it if they were. So
PDFs, yeah. You just need to sort of. And if you don't know what that is, that's SOS in Morse code.
Yeah.
Just
Braille.
Because. Yeah, do it in
Audio Braille
Morse code, just because that exists. No, it doesn't. But I don't know. Maybe it does. I don't know. Just basically, just send that message that PDFs just aren't a great idea for accessibility in general.
Yes. Garbage.
I mean, sometimes they work. Sometimes they work, but only if they're formatted properly.
If
So
I,
most of the time it's just easier to not use one.
yeah,
Their words are useless. Yes.
a Word doc cannot be beat for just putting info in.
Yeah.
General ease of use and ease of filling in as well.
Mm,
That's the key thing. Like you want to be able to at least not only read it but fill it in.
yeah.
So yes.
Absolutely. Well, if you want more accessibility consultant, SK's your guy. Go and find him at Sightless Combat.
Thank you for the plug.
And we're going to be running Electric Bastionland every Thursday from 5:30 Eastern Standard Time to roughly about 8 o'clock or just after. We're going to try and keep it short because it's bedtime for SK. We don't want to keep him up too late. And, you know, me and Temple aren't getting any younger either. So we want to end it early. But, yeah, these guys have never played Electric Bastionland before. And I've never run it. But it's a pretty simple game. We're going to learn the rules as we go, and there's not many rules. Actually, there's 2 pages of rules for this game, and that's it. So, pretty straightforward. Everyone's made their characters. So, before we hop into the game, let's learn everyone's characters. Blind Temple, who are you playing?
And playing, hang on, Levi Reason. He's a former soldier for Bastion, back from the colonies, and he's kind of messed up from his experiences, so he solves that with medicinal alcohol, a lot of medicinal alcohol. If things get bad, you just up the dosage. It's simple. It's on the label. He is a former executioner, but he still maintains his license to kill. He's allowed 1 death a day, and so, you know, be polite to him. And he's a little grumpy, and he's a little sad, and it should be interesting, his choices.
I love the fact that Temple's character Levi Reason has a license that entitles him to 1 kill every day.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
So don't piss me off. I have a very simple solution for that.
And then up next, Danny, who are you playing?
Hello, I'm playing Wilhelmina, or Mina for short. Mina is a failed wilderness recluse. She grew up out in the woods. She doesn't like the city because it stinks. You know what I'm talking about. But she grew up with her dad, hunting, trapping, just living off the land, constructing things from the land, just very much in that. But when her dad passed, she wanted to venture into worlds unknown and follow a rumor that she heard about basically arena fighting in the deep mountains. And she found it. She got pretty good. And she screwed up and ended up in a lot of debt. So now she's stuck with this fun group.
That's awesome. Yeah. Wilderness recluse turn pit fighter turn in debt.
Oh, also, don't forget I have my jar of mountain air with me everywhere I go because, like I said, the city stinks.
It smells real good. Did you settle on a name for your father?
Yes, but I forgot what it was. somewhere buried in the notes.
If you don't, I'm gonna let Temple and SK.
Forgot his name.
Temple and SK. What's his name?
Come on, do it.
My default for every name I forget is Bob. So
Bob.
I've got a lot of Bobs in my campaign.
Bob the Wilderness Recluse. All right.
I can't argue with that.
Bob of the Mountain.
Bob of the Mountains.
I feel like I called him George, but I wish I remembered. I feel like it was George.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Bob George. Don't know.
I did make the suggestion of Danny DeVito, but she didn't want to.
You did indeed.
I don't know why.
Wouldn't that just be if she wanted to, get rid of all the maps in the voting stuff? Just like, Danny DeVito.
Oh god, that was the worst pun yet. -1 inspiration. I don't know how I do.
I want to use my daily kill.
Party's done.
I haven't even introduced my character yet. Good lord.
Cashing it in already.
From off camera, you just hear a gun go off and then SK drop.
Oops.
On that note, SK, who are you dying as today?
Oh god. Right.
Can't even.
Oh lord. Okay.
I am Wallmaster Kregmar, and yes, that is Wallmaster to you. Well, I suppose you could loosely say ex-Wallmaster, former Wallmaster, whatever you want to say, but I am very good at my job. My client's words, not mine. And
Audio Braille. Sorry, yes. That's how you know when I'm moving between me and character, when my voice just goes back to normal. Yes, essentially, Kregmar, very good at his job as a wallmaster of a city many miles from Bastion. But the thing is, being good at his job is kind of a double-edged sword because he was asked to take charge of a very valuable target. Well, I say target, a person who could be understood to be valuable and also targeted for reasons unknown. Mostly, political or financial, any of that kind of stuff. And it turned out that person was a close friend, and they took, he took charge of this person and protected them very, very well, until one day, many years later, that person wound up murdered. Well, I should say Kregmar was actually framed for his murder, or for their murder. And the thing is, with that, there's actually no proof of that. There's no actual, Kregmar was never, he was just exiled. Like that, everybody was saying he did it, but he doesn't. Like, no one actually knows what happened. That's what he's here to actually find out. Whether his friend is actually still alive, because that's a possibility in these realms. And because he got exiled, he lost a lot of money as well. So he's now £10,000 in debt, which is a heck of a lot where he's from. And his objective is to return to his home and reclaim the title of Wallmaster, which he still uses in efforts to keep his air of authority, sort of around, because everybody understands how many kilos in debt. Oh God, please, Jenna, please. Good Lord. That's an even worse pun than mine. Good Lord. Yeah. So Kregmar, very good at his job, but it's all right. He carries round. He found a plague wart, a carefully extracted wart sealed in a jar. So anyone that touches it contracts a disgusting plague, and essentially the victim's touch immediately spreads the plague, and there is no cure that Kregmar knows of. How he found this, I'm not entirely sure. Probably with, in an encounter with some kind of sort of clandestine assassination attempt on his high-value target, I wouldn't wonder. But yeah, that is
Wallmaster Kregmar to you.
He's not quite as intense as that most of the time, but he normally ends up putting across that air to make sure people understand that what he's trying to do, he will. So that he wants this quite a lot, if that makes sense. He wants to get back to where he was in life before all of this ridiculous stuff happened to him in sort of the space of not very long. And now somehow he's ended up here after walking into what he thought was a city and then not remembering anything. So we'll see what happens when he recovers.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
Excellent.
That was a little long. I apologise.
No, that's fantastic. Good setup for Wallmaster Kregmar. So we've got Temple playing Levi Reason, who used to be a sanctioned executioner in the army and has come back, maybe a little disgraced. We don't know. Danny is playing Wilhelmina, the Wilderness Recluse. We have SK as Wallmaster Kregmar, who is a Wallmaster. If you didn't get that,
basically. High-ranking soldier / leader of soldiers in places, but also sometimes ends up doing jobs for hire to help people out. Is the idea.
Okay, and we'll explore what the wall was later on. Hopefully next session we'll talk about that a little bit. But for today, we're going to jump into our game of Electric Bastionland.
Yay!
Yay! I'm counting on you guys to keep up with the chat, as I'll be fumbling through notes for most of this.
Yeah, we're covered.
I'll try my
Alright.
best, and I'll try not to break character too much.
No, please do. And if you guys have questions about the game or what you can do or anything, as always with any game I run, just interrupt me. If I'm in the middle of describing something and you're like, well, hang on a second, Jim, I'm going to shoot that guy in the face, then please interrupt me.
Hey, you've already figured out my plan.
every NPC, shoot him in the face. Okay. So you guys ready?
I think so.
More ready, Jim.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep an eye on more than one thing at a time. Well, yes, you're right there, Phil. You're right.
So
Yeah, I've only got one eye, so it's really hard for me.
Well, technically, I've got less than that, so even harder for
There
me.
you go. Well, you probably still have two in your head, though.
Doesn't necessarily mean they work, does it?
Yeah. I've only got one.
Well, Blind Toes, what is your obsession with drunkenness and everybody else?
I don't know. Do we need to get trashed? Is that what's happening?
I think
Probably no.
He's like, I want
Probably
Temple
not.
to drink for real. I don't want any of this role playing nonsense. So I want a real problem here.
Wow.
Okay. So, as we hop into our adventure, you guys have all found your way to Bastion, as you said, for different reasons. And although you've described how you got there, all of you have left out the details on exactly how you got into debt and exactly how you've gotten to the point at the beginning of our story. Because between you getting to the city and where we're going to pick up right now, it's blank. You can't remember much of anything. All you remember is right now at this very moment, waking up as electricity crackles across the dark room that you're in. All of you are stuck to beds, standing up, restrained by leather straps. And as you wake up through this shocking pain, as the electricity stops crackling, when you're left strapped to a bed, there's shadowy figures in the dark room, several of them. And as the light begins to return to the bulbs above you, a man with a curled mustache and a flat cap walks up in front of Levi. And he asks, "Are you alive there, Levi? Are you with us?"
I woke up with a splitting headache and in pain. It's just any other morning. What the hell do you want?
Just making sure you're still with us, buddy. The man turns and walks over to Wilhelmina. And little miss, are you still with us?
Who's asking?
You don't remember me? You don't remember your friend Harkin?
I don't really have any friends. Harkin.
Well, today's your lucky day, little miss, because now you've got Harkin in your life.
All right. Are you gonna get us out of whatever this is?
Absolutely. Let me just check on your body over there. He walks over in front of Woolmaster Cregmar. Cregmar, you're live.
That's all, Master, to you. Harkin, was it? Yes.
That's right.
Good. At least we understand each other. Now, I would ask where we are, but I believe getting Nothing more than a cheery answer from you is what I should expect.
That's right.
But if you could release us first and then inform us as to our location, that would be a good start on getting on the right foot with everybody here. If you would be so kind.
Oh, you want nothing more said to get off on the right foot with all of you. Let me just check on your last pal over there. He walks over and you see a fourth bed. Someone strapped to it. They have been completely blackened and smoke is coming off of their body as they're strapped to it. And he says, well, you can't win them all now, can you? All right, boys, let them out. And several men come over. At least a dozen of them from the shadows. All of them dressed similarly. Shirts, flat caps. Come over and begin to release you from the straps. And get them their things as well. He starts getting you your equipment. Gets you your rifle, Levi. Gets you your club, Craigmar. And, well, Amina, which weapon do you have?
I apparently have a tree branch.
I mean, probably a very sturdy tree
fine.
branch. I wouldn't be surprised.
That staff over there is mine. Carved it myself.
The tree branch over there?
Just looks incredulously at the branch and he's like, really?
It's a good thing we didn't throw that out.
Oh, she's rolling her eyes at you. Like 100%.
All right.
Levi checks his rifle out. Is it loaded?
Absolutely.
I need some information. There was Harkin, was it?
That's right.
Harkin, could you tell me who's in charge here? I've got a daily allotment to fulfill.
I understand as a sanctioned executioner you want to get right back to work, and we want to put you to work there, Levi. Working for Mr. R and the Psycho Pack.
And
Do you remember that much?
Craigmar just kind of, he sort of looks up and he's like,
The Psycho Pack? What is this?
Yeah, I'm with them.
he's
What are you
just
talking about?
very, he's just very confused and slightly incensed because, to be honest, his head still hurts like absolute nobody's business. And he's just trying to figure out what on earth is going on here, which is why he's kind of slightly angrier than usual, I think. Would be a good way to describe him.
Yeah, as you're confused about who the Psycho Pack are, and you exclaim that, Harkin would turn around and say, why don't I put this all together with a demonstration for you?
And Craigmar looks over at because he now sees that there's this sort of fourth bed, and he just looks over and he just goes,
Demonstration?
he's just like, oh no, this can't be good. I think he's kind of cottoned on that something's not quite right.
Would you like to volunteer there, Craigmar?
Volunteer for that? Never.
No. I'm not going to cook you like a turkey. I wanted you to think of something for me.
And he sort of looks round and he hesitates and he realizes that, you know, he's now sort of been railroaded into this, and he's just like,
Fine. Tell me what you need.
I need you to think of a single word. Just a single word in your mind. What is it? Tell me. Tell me the word.
and he just sort of, he looks around completely I mean, bear in mind, he's only just been released from whatever torturous devices these people have restrained us in for goodness knows how long. And he's just thinking,
Answers.
That's a good one. I like that. All right. Keep thinking of that word, answers, and then play it around in your head. Try and think of it real deep. You doing that for me?
Well, I have nothing else to do.
And he sort of screws his face up, kind of, thinking, just trying to focus on the one word through the foggy, slightly delirious haze he's still in. And eventually, inside his mind's eye, the word answers sort of coalesces. And, that's mostly all he can see, other than sort of superimposed behind it, the image of Harkin's sort of moustached face. He's trying to focus that intensely.
As you develop the word answers as a visualization in your mind, Levi and Wilhelmina, you hear Craigmar's voice in your minds say the word answers.
What the? Get. You don't have permission to be in my head. What's going on?
I'm not in your head. What did... No.
Fantastic.
Oh, can't be.
Where's my gin? What'd they do with my bottle?
It's over here. Sorry, buddy.
Bring it here.
All right, there you go.
Could use some of that myself.
I think the boys had a few sips. Sorry about that.
Just one thing here before anybody messes up and I have to shoot them. Do not spoil this with tonic water. Thank you.
The standards for sanctioned execution have seriously dropped.
I shoot straighter when I'm drunk. Don't worry about it.
Well, it's good to know that the psychic link has worked. That's what makes us the Psycho Pack. Put you together so that you communicate through your mind. One word every minute might not seem like much, but where we're gonna send you, you're gonna need your mental fortitude.
Send us? Oh no, I dread to think what you have up your sleeves. Actually, no, you don't even have sleeves with those shirts you're wearing. Well, not quite. Oh, you know what I mean.
He's just like this is making, he's just thinking, as if things couldn't get any worse. Now you're going to send us somewhere and we don't even know where we are. It's just all these thoughts are going around in his head, and he's like, I just want to leave. That's what he's thinking in his head. But then he also realizes that leaving might just make things even go more sideways than they already have.
Wherever we're going, I hope it's away from here. It does not smell great in here. I don't like it.
You're not wrong.
He just looks over again at the at that fourth bed with the charred sort of skeleton, the charred remains over there. He just sort of casts his eyes down and he's like, probably thinking, that could have been us, at least it wasn't. You know what I mean? He's kind of just considering the fact that he and this new group he's found himself with are still alive, thankfully.
I don't know. It kind of smells like home to me.
Where do you live, Levi? Ugh.
I dread to think.
Ugh.
Well, that was a dark turn.
It's where I lived.
Well,
what are we doing?
Depressing perceptions aside, the three of you have found yourselves in a lot of debt to the Psycho Pack. We purchased it through Mr. R. And in return, you're going to find something for us.
What's that?
You're going to hunt down something called the Iron Heart.
I feel like I've heard of it, but I can't place it. Tell us. Just so we understand what we're looking for. Tell us more of this Iron Heart.
Now, we don't know exactly what it looks like, but we know where it is roughly. And we got a way in. But once you're in there, the rest is up to you.
And he just, I was going to say, Craigmar just rounds on him and he said,
I didn't ask you where or what it looks like. I asked you what it is and what it does. Do you understand me, Harkin?
You are very cranky when you wake up.
You would be too if you've been strapped to one of these.
I have been. And what you're looking for is something that'll extend any person's life for a very long time.
What's to stop us from using that on ourselves, exactly?
I suppose there's nothing to stop you using it on yourself, but it just means that the rest of the psycho pack will come looking for you.
You mean there's a tracking device or something? Is that what you're telling us?
No, we'll just, we'll find you.
Wait. I understand now. You're all linked to us as well. Would I be right?
Clever boy, clever boy.
And his face hardens with a look of understanding.
There's no way of getting out of this other than finding what they need. We must band together and unite to find this Iron Heart as quickly as possible, because, at least from where I'm standing, the sooner we find it, the sooner we can resume normality.
It's not so
Okay.
much that he's taking charge, he's just trying to take stock of it and make sure that the others understand what's going on as well.
Levi's going to try and broadcast to other people's minds.
Oh god.
The first minute will be the word "well," and then the second minute will be "shit."
Yeah,
Flaming is on board.
a very long 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And Craig Mudd just looks at him and he just goes,
Coarse, but completely justified.
And then, just out of
Let me
curiosity, he's going to try and broadcast his hangover.
You guys do not feel
Let me
his,
raise their
his
eyes on him.
hangover. But I do imagine that Levi saying shit is like that guy
Yeah.
in The Wire where he's like, she for a minute.
I don't think Levi can talk like that if he wanted to, but it would be fun.
Harkin
Oh,
will spread his hands in front of you and say, so are we in agreement then?
Doesn't look like we have a choice.
Nets will be wiped clean.
Absolutely.
All right.
Fine. We'll do it. Now tell us what else you know.
We have purchased the key to Drakensberg Manor, which is owned by Amadeus von Drakensberg. He had a way into the underground there, which is a place where time and space mean not much at all. So we purchased the deed to his house after he went missing 3 years ago. Now we're sending you down. From what we understand, he was trying to get the Iron Heart, and we're hoping that you can follow his trail.
Is he on the exempt list? Somebody I can't shoot.
You can shoot whoever you want, Levi. Anyone but me, that is.
I may come back and test that.
I'll be sure to go missing before you get back.
Wilhelmina just smirks at him.
and Craig Mudd just kind of stares at Levi and it's like,
It seems you take your job as an executioner extremely, well, seriously and laxly in both moments, which is rather a surprise to me.
because quite frankly, he's never seen an executioner who's so sort of. He's not quite undisciplined. He's just, totally willing to just be like, I need to kill you, and then he'll just change his targets, just at a moment's notice. He's so willing to use this license. He's just very, very confused as to why
I get
Levi is
what I
like
aim
that.
at.
Yes, exactly, Jenna. Yeah, exactly.
All right, I guess we should go. I'd like to get out of this godforsaken dungeon.
Do we get a ride to this manor, or do we have to walk there?
Oh, do you
Can
think
we?
I'd send you out in the
Or we-
rain? Got a car
To be totally
outside
honest,
for
I
you.
don't know what to expect from you, Harkin. Although you have admittedly freed us from our bonds, it's not exactly like we have much of a choice as to what to do now. And it is all because of the psycho pack that we're in this mess.
And a very large debt as well.
Well, yes, I suppose. But
I believe it's 10 kilos.
And he just gives him a sort of hard stare, and he's like,
of course, you are not the first person to make that joke, nor do I believe will you be the last. Now, if you would be so kind, sir, transport, a map, and any other resources you have would be much appreciated.
Alright, let's get in the car and I'll drive you to the front door. Harkin will lead you guys out, and unless there's any protest, you guys come out to a black car. Old car, this is sort of similar to the early 20th century. As you get in, you begin to rumble along cobblestones through the city in the rain. There's lightning crackling in the sky above your heads. And eventually, you reach a very large building. As the rain is hammering down, you get out of the car. Harkin, of course, has one of his cronies holding an umbrella for him, while the rest of you are in the rain. And in front of you is a 10-foot tall iron gate. And Harkin begins to remove the chain from them that's been padlocked on. He pushes the gates open and it reveals this large manor house, completely dark inside, no light in the windows. And Harkin points forward through the hammering rain from under the umbrella. That's Drakensberg Manor. That's where you'll find your way in. Once you've found a way to get to the underground, I want you to come back out and let me know.
Looks imposing enough. So, I suppose we just walk in through the front door unless anyone else has any ideas.
Works for me.
Yeah.
Unless you wish to scout around for an alternative route.
basically, Wallmaster Craigmar's trying to see what these new, I wouldn't say friends, but what the party he's with are capable of, or what they're willing to do, what they know. He's trying to sort of test their knowledge as well.
I can walk around it, but I can't guarantee you what I'll find.
I don't think we should leave that one alone without supervision.
I totally agree.
Me too.
Oh god, that is great.
All right, I guess. Come on.
I'll,
drags Levi around the side of the building to.
Levi flips up the collar on. He's got a big, heavy woolen trench coat, and goes off around it. He's got his rifle held across his arms, ready to go, and puts the gin bottle back in the pocket of the trench coat, and he's ready for action. Just no open flames around him, please.
Just whoosh.
In the distance, I see a mushroom cloud.
That was the other charred body, was Levi's friend.
Yeah.
Oh god.
As you guys come round the side of Drakensberg Manor, you see the garden at the back. It's overgrown, heavily overgrown. It's obviously been left for years, and you wouldn't even be able to get through it. But you can still walk around the perimeter of the actual building. You see lots of windows. They're very dark inside. Even putting your faces up to them with your hands cupped, you're unable to see anything inside. But you do find another door. There's a door around the back. You're not sure where it leads into, but it definitely leads inside.
And Craigmire's looking at this sort of arguably, possibly smaller door
Yes.
at the back of and just kind of looking around it to see if there's anything in there, that you can kind of see that might clue the gang, for lack of a better word. I don't know. Might clue us all into what's behind that door, because he's fully aware that you don't just burst into a room without knowing what's behind the door first. At least, not without good reason.
Yeah. You're unable to see through the windows. They're extremely dark, pitch black inside. There's no light. It's a very dark night out. And the door itself is quite strange because it doesn't actually have a door handle on it.
What do you
Wilhelmina
make
takes
of
her
this?
staff and taps on the door a couple times.
Seems solid enough, but why is there no handle? That is indeed curious. But I wonder whether there is anything else we can understand before we enter. Caution may be advisable here, but we may have no other alternative, much like with our friends from the Psycho Pack.
Wilhelmina,
looks at Levi.
did you say that you tapped on the door?
Yeah, I tapped on it twice with my staff.
Okay, as you tap on the door twice, it begins to slowly open of its own accord. It opens right up. You hear this weird, squishy sound coming from inside. And as if by magic, lights flicker on inside the kitchen. You see...
Let me just... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
You see the typical surfaces and cutting boards and ovens that you'd expect to find. But covering the floor and the work surfaces and the ovens are wriggling, writhing, squishing maggots. And as if of its own accord as well, these knives and saws attached to the wall begin to come to life above a cutting board and begin to whir and clack against these maggots on the cutting board inside.
And Craigmire just looks kind of bemused, because he's seen a fair amount, but he's not seen anything like that. And he's just like,
I don't know what that is, but I don't like it. The question is, how do we proceed?
I vote we go in the front door. I don't want to mess with any of this crap.
Yeah, Wilhelmina sniffs the air a little bit and turns her nose up at it and is like, mm-hmm.
and Craigmire's like, maggots are edible? Ugh. Then again, maybe Wilhelmina would have known that from survival? I don't know. But
Yeah,
also,
Wilhelmina hunts. Wilhelmina doesn't eat maggots.
not out of desperation, I suppose not.
I know some of that from the war, but he just thinks, oh, it's Thursday and goes around to the front of the house.
I suppose we must follow the drunken executioner then. Fine by me.
That's
I wouldn't necessarily want to deal with sorcery of any kind.
that's Mr. Drunken Executioner to you, please. I
Fine.
didn't spend all that time as an executioner to be called drunken.
Craigmire's like,
Fine. Mr. Drunk Executioner then.
Thank
Not a
you.
problem with me.
see, as much as Craigmire might seem like sort of a hard-nosed, sort of real Professor Mr. Wow. Didn't know he had a professorial thing. But Gregmar's basically, he understands, that it's just better to go with it, because he also knows that, Mr. Drunk Executioner could just turn around and just kill him as well, possibly. He's just aware of that possibility in the back of his head. So he's just like, fine. And he, as I was going to say earlier, it may seem like a real hard, like a real sort of, gripe, sort of a cranky man, as Harkin called him earlier. But he's reasonable when he's not been sort of strapped to an electrical, like, torture bed thing and woken up by a bunch of dudes in a place where he has no idea where he's got to.
So this is the front door once again, but still, given what we've just seen, it might be best to still advise caution.
Have either of you done house-to-house combat?
In close quarters? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
I did, yes. Part of standard training at the wall.
Well, that's good. You kick in the door and I'll cover you. And I get the rifle up and I'm ready to shoot.
Fine.
Lamina reaches up and tries to turn the knob.
Hell, where's the front and back?
As you guys walk away from the back door, the kitchen door, the lights flicker off. The automated kitchen knives and saws cease. And the door begins to close of its own accord. As you reach around the front, you see that there's these fine doors up front, and they have no handles as well, and an insignia of a brain on them. And as you walk closer to it, Danny, to check for a handle, the doors here begin to open as well. And as they do, a large chandelier sparkles to life in a beautiful foyer that was probably once much nicer, but is now mostly covered in dust. And inside you can see that there are 4 doors in there, and a grand staircase leading upstairs of fine oak.
Mina just gestures for them to go ahead and go first.
Levi's there with his gun.
And Cragmar's sort of hefting his club just to make sure it's still as balanced as he remembers. And he's kind of just like trying to figure out which door to go through first, because as much as he has done close quarters combat, he's kind of concerned still, because all of these doors are opening, well, in his words,
all of these doors may be opening by themselves, but that's not the only sorcerous thing that is afoot here. I mean, you saw all that cutlery back there. That is far from ordinary. And it seems as though this place still has sentience, even long after the owner has left. So I have no idea or comprehension of what else lies within these walls. And I don't want to be on the receiving end of it.
It's kind of like a castle from a story my dad used to read me as a kid. Stuff danced around and moved on its own. Yeah, I don't.
I am aware of the tales you speak of, but they usually ended happily. This, I believe, has the potential to be the reverse. Not that we will let that happen before we find the Iron Heart. Am I right?
And he sort of puts on a sort of a face of a person who's trying to raise the morale to an extent, but not necessarily, thinking he'll succeed.
I bet them stories weren't full of rooms full of maggots, huh?
No.
He just shakes his head as he says it. He's like, nope, they weren't.
Can I have information from the DM, please?
Yes.
My rifle, does it have a magazine? How many rounds does it hold?
It's a bolt action rifle, so you have to fire one at a time.
One at a time? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just was concerned with whether I had to load it one at a time or if it had a magazine well that fed into it as you used the bolt action.
So the assumption is in the game that you can attack once per turn. So however you would like the rifle to function in a way that's bolt action, then you can
Right.
do that.
It can have one round at a time.
All right.
I will. I assume I have more ammunition than the one bullet in it.
Yeah, we assume that you have as much ammunition as you need. You have a
Okay. Well, there's a
bottomless
small
pocket.
cart following behind me. Then
There's a small halfling with a cart. It's like, hey, Campbell, here's some more bullets.
Levi opens his coat, and you see a belt just lined with 30 caliber rounds, and he slips 3 of them out and slips them between the finger of his trigger hand, so that he can pull them out and load them faster. And he holds the rifle up at ready and walks into the room.
And
Okay.
Craigmar just looks at him slightly admiringly, and he's like,
Impressive battle technique. Prepared, I see. Not that I can blame you.
Not all of the people I shoot in my line of work are tied to a post, if you know what I mean.
Indeed, I do.
and he's got kind of a slightly smug smile on his face, as if he knows exactly the kind of stuff that he might be on about, as in sort of taking out fleeing targets over prolonged distances and chases.
What do you say?
And he calls up to him, because these rooms are quite big. These areas are reasonably big.
Yeah,
And
you're in a
it's
large
kind of-
foyer with a
Yeah.
grand staircase in front of you. There's 4 doors. I can give you a description of each one if you'd like.
That would help, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So door number 1. What's behind door number 1? Well, this door has a plaque of a knife and fork on it, so you can imagine what's in there.
Presumably the evil kitchen with all the sorcerer's cutlery.
Door number
Probably.
2 is an open doorway, and behind it is a dust-covered dining room that's not been used in years. Door number 3. Door number 3 has a hook on it with a red smoking jacket hanging from the hook.
Okay.
And door number 4 is this iron door with a thick lock on it, which features a dial like you'd find on a safe. And then, other than the 4 doors, there's a staircase that leads upstairs.
So, yeah. Craigmar looks over at that 4th and final door with the dial on it, and he may not know a lot about safes and things, but he's seen sort of big, sort of vault door style things before, and he's like,
It seems for that 4th and final door we need a combination. And that might be a good thing to start looking for, considering none of us wishes to be in this house any longer than we need to. But where do we start?
Ina walks over the door and tries to, the one with the big lock on it, and tries to open it, and then looks at them and like shrugs and said, just in case.
Good try, Wilhelmina, but it's locked tight. It's worth trying, right? Like,
I mean, come on.
never a bad idea.
Does the door with the huge lock have equally impressive hinges, or are they just the regular door hinges?
That's an important question.
just boot it up.
I mean, just lift it off.
See,
Yeah,
you're on my level. You're on my level.
It's an enormous iron door with great big hinges on it, and it's recessed into concrete.
Right, Levi just goes to lift it, and Craigmar just looks at him and goes,
There is no reason, pun intended, why that would work. I believe even in your slightly intoxicated state, you should have figured that one out.
he's just kind of like, why did you do that when you knew it wasn't going to work? Is the point.
Things aren't always as they appear, so never hurts.
Indeed.
It doesn't.
This place in particular.
It doesn't hurt to take accounting of who's on your side either. Asking stupid questions to get backed up by your friends are usually a good sign of who you can and can't count on. You're lucky you passed.
Craigmar's just like, Okay, fine. He just sort of looks slightly disgruntled, then realizes that he's probably all right for the minute. Partly because Levi isn't waving his rifle in his face.
No, Levi looks completely steady with his rifle. There's
No, what I mean is Kragmar is fine with the fact that Levi is not kind of up in his face with his rifle ready to murder him.
Oh, no.
Blast-proof
just
bunker,
grunts and-
probably.
Gestures toward the other doors. What next?
Hmm.
We're supposed to go down, weren't we?
No, well,
Yes, we were, but what if that safe holds vital resources, information? I don't know. Anything that we
stairs.
could use is probably going to be up here rather than down there.
he kind of stares at the floor and he's just like, this is probably a really bad idea, but we didn't have much of a choice. The thought flashes through his head.
I don't know much about big fancy houses and their rooms and stuff that haven't been destroyed first. One of you'll probably have to figure out how we get in there.
Mm.
But anything
Alright.
that's in there,
Well,
I can end.
And Craig Wells just looks at the third door, so the one with the hook and the sort of smoking jacket on it, and he's like,
My best estimate at this point would be that room there is maybe some kind of, well, study where items of informational importance may be left, including keys, perhaps. So it may not be a bad idea to try and look in there first.
Sounds good. Levi will start heading that way.
Okay.
Okay. Wilhelmina's gonna walk over and take her staff and like take the jacket off the hook and like toss it aside. Like she's a smells person. I imagine doesn't smell very, very good. So
probably not after like 3 years of being there. Who knows? Hmm.
Who's gonna open that one?
At this point, I believe caution may be able to be thrown to the winds. It may be ill-advised, but it might be the only way to progress further without complications.
So, Craigmar's gonna, sort of, like, because he sees he's aware that there might be weaknesses in these doors, so he's trying to look round for, instead of actually just opening it, sort of breaching the door for surprise might be a venture that he's willing to work with. So what would we roll for that? Probably, I don't know, what would we roll for that?
So what are you trying to do? Quickly move through the door, or?
Yeah, basically, just trying
He's
to get.
trying to destroy the door.
Well,
Surprise anything inside.
Yeah, basically, yes.
Okay, make me a strength test. So what's your strength ability at?
That would be 7 by my sheet.
Okay, so you have to roll me a d20, and if it's a 7 or less, you succeed, and if it's any higher, if it's an 8 or up, you don't.
Oh God, this is much harder than I was expecting. Okay, so I just roll 1 and then okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord, that's not good. That's a. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, it's a 19. That is not good.
Describe to us, Wallmaster Craigmar, as you slam into the door unsuccessfully.
I'm
All right, calm down. I know it's funny, but it's not.
I assume standard breaching position, run at the door, and for some unknown reason I am repelled back by a force I cannot exactly describe, but needless to say, I am left flat on my back, winded, looking up at the ceiling as the door does nothing. It is almost as if I never even approached. And that makes me all the more concerned.
So he kind of gets up and pulls himself up from the floor, where he was on his back, and he's just like,
Ah, ah. It seems caution may still be advisable with all of this magical menagerie.
and he looks down at his feet as if to say, "Why did I do that?"
Levi is gonna sigh real big, walk up to the door, and try the doorknob.
It opens.
It opens.
Yes.
I look at the War Master and shake my head a little bit and say, "Here, let me." And I swing the door open and back up so he can charge in.
Floor to
And-
ceiling, this room is filled with bookshelves and stacks of books, and a single chair is set in the center of the room. And as the door opens, the lights flicker on, and a phonograph begins to play some light orchestral music. And in your heads, you hear a faint voice say, "Dum dum de dum dum."
Also, there are terrible puns in the chat.
Oh no! What are the puns?
MBG says says Wallmaster, not Doormaster. And
Wilhelmina definitely would have looked at him on the floor and just
Yeah.
like raised her eyebrows and then looked at Levi and walked into the room.
and then Craigmar's just following up, and he's just like,
Well, if you were in my position, you would have had the same fate. You know that. I know that. Let us just proceed.
he's just like, fine, let's not speak of this because that was ridiculous. And he basically realizes he was unlucky at that point.
Levi stops and he reaches into his pocket and he takes out his bottle of gin and offers it to the War Master. "Here. This usually helps me when I totally humiliate myself."
and Craigmore kind of just looks at the bottle, looks at him, looks at the bottle again, and just takes it. And he's just like,
Here's to total humiliation, and may it be reciprocated to you later down the line.
Oh,
And he
trust me, it will.
and he just takes a small swig of it, and he's like, "Yep, this is fine." But he's not going to take too much in because he knows that this is Levi's stuff, and he doesn't want to sort of make him mad. And also, even though it was kindly offered, even in sort of reprimand to the War Master's actions, but he's also fully aware that he doesn't want to get too drunk, otherwise that might make it ridiculously hard to do anything.
And plus, it's the cheapest gin you can buy. And
That too. So, and Craigmar looks around and he goes,
Wait a moment. What was that musical, that melodious sound we heard? What does that mean? It must be a...
You heard that too?
How could I not hear it?
Oh.
What do you think I am? Do you believe me to be entirely incompetent at what I do?
Not at all. Just doors.
Wilhelmina's scanning the room looking for the musical. I don't know if it's going to be like a music box or anything at all, but these two are
Yeah.
talking and she's just looking around the room like,
There's
It's all
a
business, and we're the
phonograph.
common relief.
The Janissary very much likes your crack about humiliation temples.
it was great. It was
stuff.
great.
Yeah, as you look around Wilhelmina, you see a phonograph. So it's like a record player with a big horn on it, and it's gently playing orchestral music.
She clears her throat and gestures at the phonograph. I think I found it.
Good. Now what do you see? Or rather, what can you tell us?
because he's basically just trying to question her, sort of.
Doesn't want to go in the
Sure.
room now.
No. He doesn't mind being in the room. It's just the fact that, Wilhelmina's just trying to be like he feels she's just trying to like be a little too. I found the thing, and it's like, yes, but what can you tell us about the thing? And just say you found it.
She stops it and turns it off, and then looks around, and I don't know what else she sees, but she's looking.
You see tons upon tons of books, just floor to ceiling books. There's no windows in this room, or maybe they're hidden behind the shelves themselves. And then there's a small stack of books next to the single chair in the middle of the room.
And those books on safe cracking.
That would be
I wouldn't be
convenient.
surprised.
And can either of you read?
He just looks at him like, of course I can read, kind of thing. He's just like, yes.
Well,
Well-
I mean, if you could, you would be able to see what I've just written in dust on the floor.
Because he's just bent down, scribbled in the dust. He's just written, yes, I can read.
Well, I can too. I'm just not the best at it.
That's fair.
Yeah, my
I
dad
thought
taught
it
me
was-
a little, so.
I thought it was mostly due to your inebriation in a constant daily cycle.
No, that didn't stop me from reading. That may make me see things that aren't actually there, but that won't keep me from reading.
Wilhelmina tosses some books to everyone and
Don't
starts kind of.
don't worry. Once the death and mayhem starts, I'm perfectly fine. Trust me.
As it should be.
And I still got the
Yes,
bottle
I
out from
drunk
having
your
it handed
executioner.
back to me. So we'll go take another shot and put it in my pocket.
And Craigmar just looks at him and he goes,
As it should be, Mr. Drunken Executioner.
Thank you. It's that professional respect that keeps me going.
Have you been channeling? Have you been channeling a certain character in our culture? One person ruled with fear, and you intend to rule with respect. Not going to say anything, but if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Jin helps out with the brain power. Oh god.
Okay, she threw me a book. I make sure it's right side up. And
Yeah.
then I start flipping through it.
It says the underground, where up is down. And as you look through, it's articles about the underground and trying to navigate it through the space-time continuum. It's some light reading for Levi.
Is it really light?
Well, I mean, given the underground works differently, maybe the books about it do too. I don't know, possibly. Would kind of make sense, I guess.
Aw. Mina
And,
starts looking through books, looking for loose papers with information, anything she can find.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been tagged and dogged in various ways. Most of the books around the chair and some in the shelves as well. It mostly seems to be about different curios that have been discovered at different times in the underground or rumoured. And then a bunch on navigation as well, trying to find your way and track your way. It seems that the underground doesn't operate in a straight line, and that one time you can go down there and go one way, and then the next time it leads somewhere completely different. But it seems that whenever you want to find your way back, you'll always find your way back.
It
Sir,
appears
Jeff?
these books have been used after all, even, well, whether there's any unsafe cracking or not.
There
glad
are
we
not
came
any
in here.
unsafe cracking.
Well, no, it was, that's why you said whether there are or not, because he's not entirely sure, and there's far too many books to look through, reasonably.
There's a book on making different gin cocktails. you can find.
Oh.
You see him pick that one up and slip it into his pocket.
Yeah.
And either that, or he just tosses it over to Levi, and he's like,
Here, a gift. I thought you'd appreciate this one.
See, and he proves that he's not a complete jerk,
Yeah.
as he might, or rather, he's open to repaying the kindness of a bottle of gin profit at a good time. good
Levi
moment.
nods his thanks and slips it into his pocket. Is there a desk in this room?
There's no desk in this room. No, it appears to just be serviced as a library.
Hmm. Oh, do you just be spending ages looking down at your lap, or holding a book up like this and just being like, yeah, my eyes need to sort of just have writing burned into their edges. that's, you know what I mean? Just be like reading late into the night, just like, ow, my eyes, I can only see writing now. I see nothing else.
So, we are aware of how to navigate the underground, but how do we proceed?
And Kragmar, being the man he is, starts looking for sort of clandestine, sort of secret passages and things, sort of looking for, shelves that might turn, books that might need to be pushed a certain way or slid out of the way through real switches, the kind of thing.
Yeah, as you begin to slam books around and throw shit on the floor, you hear a voice.
That's not what I said. That is not what I said.
I don't know. That works for me.
Maybe that's what the rest of the party are doing, but that is certainly not how that is certainly not how I am approaching the subject.
As you begin to look around, and in here,
exactly. Who's irreverent now? says Janissary.
You push books aside and begin to move things, and you can't quite find anything. But then you hear that same sound in your head that you heard earlier, humming the music, and this faint voice. All of you hear it, and it says, "Oh, they're messing everything up."
Who said that? Member of the Psycho Pack, I shouldn't wonder. Wait. Did you all hear that? Or was that just me?
Somebody complaining about us messing everything up?
Good. I'd hoped you weren't going to say it was just you, Mr. Kregmar. That would have really frustrated me, especially after all the goodwill I've shown you.
I would never disrespect you, sir. Or anybody else.
He genuinely means it as well. He's not trying to sort of push too hard. He's just being like, I thought you might make a joke about it, but you didn't, so I'm glad, is what he's basically saying.
So, the question is, who was that? And can we maybe utilize our psychic link to our advantage? I wonder if it worked both ways, perhaps? Do you believe that is worth a try?
What do you mean both ways?
What do you think I mean? I mean that if we can all hear a voice at once from possibly somebody else's psychic intervention, could we not broadcast to theirs to ask perhaps who they are, what we are apparently messing up?
Do we know the voice is psychic?
Well, considering we all heard it and we are all linked. Although, you are correct, it could just as easily be in the room with us. This house is not as it seems, so either could be a possibility. Looking around for auditory amplification devices might be a good start in the first place, but consider the psychic link as an optional addition.
He's basically saying, realize it's there, remember it's there, because it might come in useful later, and it may already have been used to help us. But he starts looking around for, he sort of takes it to heart, and he starts looking around for speakers that might be sort of hidden behind things or on the ceiling, that kind of stuff. He sort of tries to comb the room as best he can through all the various scattered papers and documents and things.
Yeah, absolutely. As you begin to look around Craigmar, you don't find any speakers, but on the phonograph and on the doors and on the light in the room, you find the same small brain insignia that you found on the front door.
And I recognize that, and he realized it and he recognized it. He's like,
This symbol. Where else have you seen it? Because I have seen it in at least one other place. That being, let me see if you are aware. If not, I will clarify.
and he looks around just to see if they've picked up on it. Not saying that they have, but they may have not done. And
Nothing seems to happen.
And as they don't pick, and as the rest of the party haven't picked up on it, he's like,
The front door shares the same insignia. That must mean something. Question is, what?
I don't think I've seen it, honestly. I'd never come into the city, so if it's related to that.
I thought it was a ball of bread dough. I don't.
Yeah, I could see that.
I understand what you mean. Food is foremost on some of our minds anyway, and not that I can blame you.
I'm sorry, Twitch chat, if you're hungry. I'm so sorry.
Levi, apologize for that at once. You've made all of us hungry for no discernible reason. That is a crime that I would be glad to kill you for were I in your position. No, I wouldn't.
You know where the kitchen's at. Eat all you want.
and Craigmar genuinely laughed. Then he was just kind of, he was just like, "Yep, that was funny," and then he kind of is like, "No, I didn't mean it. It's fine."
I would not. Believe me, I would not dispose of a member of our party so valuable at this point in time.
And he's just like,
I am not going back in that place with all of those things until we find a way to do it safely and without being sliced to ribbons.
and so they sort of a random brat verse pops up. Oh god.
Oh dear. Hello.
Lord knows, come on.
I thought this place was rather odd.
But then, then
Are there any books on, I don't know, alchemist insignias, heraldry, anything?
just trying to think through the possibilities of what it might be.
Secret
Yeah.
orders from an ancient age? I'm not sure at this point, but anything would help.
Because he's
It's
not sure if
pretty-
he hasn't seen it before, but he's like, it's probably something mysterious, magical, and ancient that you need to be aware of before you proceed.
Yeah, as you begin looking around, there's pretty specific topics, so you'd have to spend some time searching through the library for a book like that.
Levi will take the first book that he was given that talks about the under place, hands it to Wilhelmina, says, Here you go, miss. You probably ought to take care of that. I think there's stuff in there that we can use.
Thanks.
And
She just glances through it and tries to make sense of it all. It'd probably take a long time, I imagine.
It's like,
You're making as much sense of this as I am. Well, no, you're making greater sense of it than me. I may have seen many things, but nothing like this.
he's just completely admitting, he's just like, I know nothing about any of this. I may have been through a lot, but this is all new.
Nope, never seen it before.
Well, I've never seen anything, but that's beside the point.
Yes, and I did just deliberately make that joking character because why not? Exactly, MBG. Exactly. If I didn't do it, I'd kick myself, and that would hurt.
I saw what you did there.
But
Well, good. Someone did.
someone did.
Exactly. Right. How do we? Question is, how do we proceed? Because we've been in this room for a while.
I'm assuming if we stand here and search, we're not going to find anything else, right?
Yes, possibly.
A mystical toes. Good lord! A mystical bottle of gin pops up. No. Don't tempt
that
Levi.
happens-
Don't tempt him.
Yeah, Levi's never leaving this room.
Oh,
If he keeps just
Sausage and
parading,
alcohol set.
I know how to lure Levi in the underground now. Just a trail of gin bottles, like the little hotel ones, just
Jingling together
or just like a
like a little chime.
just like a trickle, just like a trickle of gin.
It's
Thing.
me,
Just-
Levi. It's the gin man.
No, it just takes the name of like that mythological figure. It's like, I am the gin. No, not that gin. The other gin. Oh god.
All right. What other doors were there in here, other than
In-
one we came in?
I was gonna say in here.
So there was a door with a knife and fork plaque on it. There was
Right.
one you went in where you threw the wonderful smoking jacket on the floor. There was also an open doorway that led into an old dusty dining room, and then there was the big safe door in the wall, and
Right.
then there was a big staircase leading upstairs.
Did anyone check the smoking jacket?
I was just
And
about to
I-
ask.
I was literally just about to say, Craig Marr sort of goes over. He sees the jacket where it's been kind of tossed over there, and he sort of picks it up and looks at it, and he just goes,
Hey, did anyone check this?
and he sort of looks through the pockets.
Yeah, as you're looking through the pockets, Craigmar, you don't find anything in there but a few old dried up maggots, and you find the name Percy
Of course.
written on the chest.
Huh. Percy. Not entirely sure what significance this has, but who knows?
See? Bet he got beat up a lot as a kid.
And Craig Marr just looks at him, and he's just like,
Oh, please.
I'm sorry, was that your name when you were a kid? I apologize.
and he just sort of, he doesn't quite stare at him. He's just like,
If you would,
he's just giving a look as if to say,
if you would kindly just be quiet, that would be much appreciated.
he's
I'll
just
do
kind of
what I
giving him that
can.
look. He's just giving him that look rather than saying it. He's aware that just the look he's giving him is just like, yeah, just shh. Like, we
I'll
have a
do my
mission to
best,
get
but I can't promise you anything.
Fine by me.
So we've checked that. Now the question is, do we want to go for the? Do we want to try and enter through the front of the kitchen?
Do we wish to try and enter the front door of that kitchen area? Because
I
it
think
may,
that's.
because it may only be the back door that is guarded by whatever entities control this place.
Sure,
I think
I'll go
that
first.
would be the dining room. Yeah, go for it.
Well, there's two sets. There's the kitchen and the dining room, but that, yeah, I suppose they link onto each other, maybe, as they sometimes do.
Which one would you like to go into?
That's what I was saying.
And with a knife and fork on the plaque.
All right.
Okay, you picked
I'll go
door
in with the
number
right
2. As you push the door open, there's a little bit of resistance as it squidges and squelches from all the
I
maggots.
pushed it with the barrel of my gun.
Oh god, it really you have to shove it with that barrel of the gun, and as the lights flicker on again and the saws and knives begin to chop on the boards, you hear the voice in your head again. Chop chop chop.
I just let the door close.
Hmm.
There's nothing in there, trust me.
Then why is it so well guarded?
You mean
Fried rice
scrunches
maggots.
her nose
Ew.
up and is like,
Somebody, Toes just said a nice plate of a nice plate of fried rice maggots is on the table. Ugh.
Oh yeah, delish. Temple Girl's hungry, and Blind Toes killed everyone's appetite. Fantastic.
Just like Levi would kill anybody who stands in his way of his gin.
He could just breathe on the maggots, and
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're saying that's a thing, then is that a thing?
do you want to get real close and breathe on the maggots, Lee?
You want me to check out the maggot room? I'll check out the maggot room. There's nothing in there.
I am merely concerned that it may be well guarded for good reason.
I don't think it's well guarded. I think it's... What was that they called it? Oh, I saw this once before. Automated. It just does the job. It's not... I mean, the knives didn't come after us.
No,
We're
granted.
chopping maggots like they would food if it were on there.
No.
Or anything else.
You know what? For a man who is rarely sober, you are making a good amount of sense.
Well, this
Which
is
is news
getting
to
more
me.
complicated. And the harder I have to fight off my hangover, the clearer I get.
I do not pretend to understand how that works, but will merely acknowledge. With that said, I believe you may be correct. This may just be automata at work.
Let
And
me...
if so, maybe upstairs. Unless there is anything in the dining room itself. As in the other door which we haven't been through yet.
Let's check that one. I'd rather not trample through maggots.
No, neither would I. So, who is leading the way?
I can do it again. I don't care.
all right.
I would merely advise being careful, regardless.
I'm always quite careful. I'm renowned for it.
Blind
Thanks,
Toes,
Frank,
if you would, sorry, Blind Toes, if you would refrain from putting food in the chat, that would be much appreciated. Oh, well, yeah, or do that, as in put things that people might like in the chat, and then things that people definitely wouldn't want to eat. It's Kung Pao nuggets with sweet and sour sauce, and then the next message, maggot dumplings.
Oh, delish.
Nice.
As you step forward to the dining room, Levi, the chandelier in there flickers to life, and the voice in your head says, "Let there be light." And inside is this sad, dusty room that looks like it hasn't been used even long before 3 years ago. That maybe this place hasn't seen guests in a long time.
Is there like a dining table? I'm guessing you
Yeah,
said.
dining table,
Yeah, well,
chairs, everything.
How
you
many
could
chairs are we
expect.
talking? Probably a lot, given this is quite a big place.
It's quite modest. There's only 10 in here.
Okay.
I feel like when Amelia will walk up to it and like blow the dust off the table and like frown at it and be like, I don't think anybody's been in here for quite a while.
Well, sort of the thing they do in movies, just like, it's like, yep, okay, I don't think anybody's been here.
Allergies. Everyone make an allergy test. There's dust everywhere.
Just I could just imagine Levi just in the corner, just sneezes and go, ah.
Sneeze,
Think
tooth, and take another drink.
Alcohol kills allergies. That's a
Yeah.
known
Yeah.
fact.
And it's like,
All this dust and decay, I believe you may be correct. Nobody has been in here for a long time.
Do we see anything like closets or things like that?
In here, there is...
Anywhere in the house so far. I don't
Hmm.
think there's been one mentioned.
In the kitchen, you could expect the standard kitchen cabinets that would be there.
Yeah.
And in the dining room, there's, you know, display cases with china plates and then drawers and cupboards underneath.
Hmm.
That's all the doors we see that we haven't been through except for the back door, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course the staircase upstairs. Well, that's not a door, but you know what I mean. That's
Yeah.
the next place.
So with
Yeah.
this room covered, maybe just going up is our only option. But do we wish to? Or do we enter the underground now? That's
Or we
the
enter
real
the
question.
underground.
I think the underground is through the door with the giant lock on it, maybe?
I think so too.
That would be a reasonable estimate. But we still have
I'll-
no combination. I wonder
I'll
if
check
the
the-
book may tell you anything.
I'll check
Maybe
the
written
kitchen
on
if no
a
one
back
wants to.
page or a...
Nice. Blind toes, please. A nice bottle of
Ew.
gin maggots. What? I don't even. Yeah, don't even want to think about that. Ew.
Sorry,
Nice.
Wilhelmina.
Use
What
some
were you
into
going to
that.
suggest?
Yeah, sorry.
I was saying I'll check the kitchen if no one wants to, and she, you know, we probably should look around it. But she like grabs her nose and squeezes it as she like pushes the door open with her staff, and like puts her boot against the door and is like looking around.
Yeah, as you
Pushes
look into the...
maggots out of the way.
Oh, as you push the door, you hear the
Yeah.
squelching and writhing and that all across the
Ew.
floors and
Nice.
the surfaces, and the whirring of the saws and the kitchen knives slamming against the cutting board. You can't see much of anything because there's maggots over everything, and most of the cupboards in there are closed. You can just see the windows leading outside the dark sky out there in the overgrown garden.
She pokes around on the counter or whatever, wherever the knives were chopping, kind of with her staff very gingerly to see if anything's buried under the maggots that might be important. I don't know, notes or another book or I don't know, nasty. Still holding her nose the whole time, just like, you know.
As you push the maggots aside, you do see some paper in it. It seems to have lines drawn all across it in really abstract ways. They're different colours: blacks, reds, blues, yellows, greens, and it's underneath a bunch of maggots.
Oh,
She uses
yeah.
her staff to kind of like swipe the maggots off of the paper as much as she can, and then grabs it and like has to take her hand off of her nose and squishes her whole face up, and she's holding the paper out like, okay, and then
Make
eases
me a
back out of the room.
dexterity save here, Wilhelmina.
Oh god, all right. Let's see what we got. My dexterity is 14.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Oh wow, that's very good.
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't realize they were out of 20 when I looked at my numbers because it all looked like it might be out of 10.
I
Because
Yeah.
it would, like that mostly
I got
would make
13.
sense, and then it was like,
I got-
well, like yeah, sorry.
13, you expertly
I got
managed
13.
to swipe the maggots and pull them. You think at one point you're going to topple over, but you manage to steady yourself from falling into a sea of maggots as you grab the paper and lean back out of the room to look at this abstract piece of paper with these lines all over it: blacks, reds, yellows, greens, blues.
And Craigmore looks at it and he's like,
Surely that must be some kind of map? The only thing that makes sense to me.
I don't know. And she shakes it toward them.
Maggot
Don't shake it
juice
at
just
me.
flickers
Good
off.
Lord. By all that is above and below, please!
Craigmore's just like trying to wipe any residue off his face because she sort of shook it so high it just kind of flicked everywhere. And he's just like,
Well, at least we have something. And well done. I commend you for that. That was unpleasant, to say the least. and I was watching.
Is there like a table in this entryway, like a little table or something?
Yeah,
before the
there's a small
stairs?
table with a vase that's been empty for a long time beneath the chandelier.
Okay, I think she would blow the dust off the table
Yeah.
and lay the paper down on it
Ja-
so we can all look at it.
Of course, gently take the vase off first, because you don't want to break that, because you never
Oh,
know.
I'm sure it's fine.
You don't want to just swipe it off and have it shatter, though, do you?
Well, you could hand it to Levi, and then he'd throw it in the corner.
I don't care. It's fine. I guess we're all. I'm assuming we can't make heads or tails of this paper. Is that correct?
Well, as you look at it, you realise that you did see some similar drawings in the book the temple gave to you.
Hmm.
Okay.
The underground, where up is down. And as you open it up and begin to look through, you see that whoever's made notes in this book with these different coloured lines on has clearly marked that the different lines are routes and they are at different times. So black lines is standard time, red is much faster, yellow is slower.
Okay.
So different speeds of time, then, presumably.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we have something helpful, and she kind of puts it into the book and closes the book and says, I guess we can go upstairs now.
That may be the best course of action.
So,
I will lead the way, and I will attempt to not humiliate myself this time.
and he gives a knowing look to Levi. He's just like, thank you for earlier. I'm going to try and not accidentally sort of get slammed back by unknown arcane forces.
Yeah.
All right,
Levi
make me a
Benton's
strength
now-
test.
Yeah.
No,
Levi.
he's not rolling for strength. He's just trying to see what's next first before he does anything
Yeah.
ridiculously.
Dexterity, walking up the stairs.
Wow.
Levi told you that he wasn't doing it in a mocking way. He was just like matter of factly telling you that, like he's been there before, trying to help you out.
Oh, okay.
Haven't we all?
Yeah, I think Craig must slightly misunderstood it when
Yeah.
Levi said it, but he, with Levi returns that look, and there's no animosity between the two. And there's no need for a dexterity roll, Danny.
Are you sure? I mean, that was a GM directed comment. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Well,
this
I just
is
mean,
a magic house. Who knows?
well, no, if the magic house decides to do odd stuff, then that's a different case. But if they're normal stairs, which Craig my flipping hopes they will be.
You have to make a strength save for your weak legs to get up the stairs. I'm afraid. That's okay.
Oh, if you're sure.
No. As you begin to make your way up.
Levi will follow right behind him and cover him as he goes up.
Aw. That's how you know. he
Spina's
loves
just
you.
walking behind Levi, just like do. Like, I
Look at
mean,
Matt.
y'all just left me.
You're
All
sort
right.
of looking. You're sort of looking back down the stairs. You're just trying to sort of cast a look over your shoulder every so often to make sure nothing's coming up behind us. You're like,
Hey man, Wilhelmina's got a tree branch. Don't mess with that lady.
She's ready.
Don't
She's
mess
used
with
to
the tree-
listening for creepy sounds. We're good. We're covered.
Don't mess with the tree branch.
She's gonna create embers on it and smudge someone's.
She's got a board with a nail in it.
What? Is that a reference? Probably not.
As you begin to make your way up this rich mahogany staircase in a very Scooby-Doo-esque way, one behind the other, it leads up to the second floor. And on the second floor here, there's 3 doors. So the first door has a sign on the door that clearly reads Amadeus von Drakensberg. The second door is an unmarked door, but it's slightly ajar. And the third door has a sign that reads Throne Room.
Wait, just to double check. What did that last door say? Just to be sure.
Throne Room.
Okay. Wasn't sure if I heard correctly.
Sorry,
Okay.
when I speak normally at home, I say throne room, but I can't talk like that on here. People won't understand me.
Well, unless of course you're playing an orc from Warhammer 40k.
But that's how I talk, mate. That's my
No,
regular
no,
talk.
no. You said I can't talk
Love
like
it.
that. You said I
Love
can't
that.
talk like that because no one will understand me. So I just meant, that would be the voice you'd end up using for that instead, because it would then make sense. Exactly.
No,
Space Marine. Exactly, Janissary.
Them bloody
Exactly.
orcs have been culturally appropriating my people for fucking ages.
That's it. That's it.
Jim, it's just your thick Canadian accent.
I've been out in the wilderness too long.
Those Canadians.
What with Wilhelmina? You've been learning survival skills on Wilhelmina then? Is that what it is?
Aye.
I'm Danny DeVito.
Yeah. That's
Oh
right.
god.
That's right.
So.
So,
I
which
mean,
door do we
Wilhelmina would
take
probably-
first?
Wilhelmina would gesture toward the one that was half open with her staff and be like, that one's already open.
Fair enough. I understand your logic.
Levi will move to where nobody's in the way and he can cover the door when they open it.
Yeah.
So and Craigmar, remembering what happened before, and accounting for the fact that this door is partly open anyway, he sort of goes up to it and gently sort of uses his club to kind of just push it open. Just sort of puts it roughly in the middle of the door, just gently pushes it open,
Yeah.
and then peers in.
Ooh. As the light flickers to life in here, it reveals a Spartan bedroom. It's got a large bed, a
Oh,
wardrobe.
it's Master Chief's bedroom.
This
Sorry,
is Sparta.
sorry.
And yeah, it's got a large bed. It has a wardrobe, and it has a standing mirror. And as the light flickers on, the gentle voice in your head says, "Bedtime."
And there's a small plaque that says 117 on the wall. No. No. So Craigmar looks around, looks at the other two, and he says,
That point about automata, I feel you could be exactly right.
Really?
We could-
That's unusual. Okay.
No comment. Just take the compliment as it is, sir. For that is all it is meant to be.
That's
he's,
what I
he's just smiling at him. He's just like got the biggest grin on his face because he's completely aware that Levi might not be right 100% of the time, but when he does, he should get complimented for it, particularly when it's right like that.
and it's blind ass luck.
Wilhelmina,
Oh,
as
yeah.
these two are talking, you hear a faint sound above you. It's thumping. Bum, bum, bum. And then you hear a voice through the ceiling. Is someone there? Hello?
Did you guys hear that? Are you listening to the
Yes.
real voice?
Ah,
I don't think it was real. It didn't hurt my head.
Okay,
I heard something. But just to be clear, what did you hear? Just to make sure we are all on the same page.
Oh, somebody's thumping on the floor above us, maybe?
They asked if we were here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, good. I heard that as well. At least we are all of the same understanding. The question is, who was that?
I bet there's some stairs around here. Wilhelmina starts looking around this bedroom in particular and is kind of looking through the walls, like, are there any, like, doors hidden?
Is anyone there?
There you go.
You can't
It just
find
looks
any.
up at the ceiling. It's like,
You can't find any
ahead.
doors or stairs, Wilhelmina, as you look around the room here. You can see in the hallway that there is a hatch for like an upstairs in the ceiling, with the small brain insignia on, but there's no handle on it.
Okay.
So
Spots it and walks out there and points it out to everyone, and then tries to reach it with her staff. I don't know if it's too high or not, or if there's anything to even pull at with the staff.
I mean, never a bad idea to try.
I like how Wilhelmina's the common sense. She's just like, let's just see if it works.
I mean, and then of course that may come back to be a problem, possibly. I don't know.
I'm fine with that.
As you prod your
well,
tree branch,
as Pregmar discovered earlier, when he tried to use kind of common sense, and it just ended up with him flat on his back. So
I want to try something. Can I try something here?
Yeah.
Because I just had a thought. Since that's not bread dough, that's supposed to be a brain, right? I stand there and look at the door, and I think, open. As loud as I can. Loud enough, hopefully they all get it.
So you're communicating that with Wilhelmina and Craigmar.
And the door.
Okay, as you say, open.
And then we all realize and we all start thinking about it. Craigmar's just thinking
open.
And then we kind of realize that the brain is probably, to do with the whole psychic, linking thing. We're just like, maybe it has something to do with that. And we realize that Levi might be correct if it works.
Wilhelmina just shivers and says, I do not like that.
Wilhelmina, as this is happening, as Levi is thinking the word open, and although I imagine it's more like open, as he's thinking that in his head, and you poke your tree branch up. Your tree branch doesn't do anything. You sort of just bang the hatch, and then someone else bangs back and says, "Is someone there?" And then, as the voice, as you say, "Open," the voice that you heard in your head suddenly clambers back into your minds and begins to say, "Oh, is someone there? Can you hear me as well? Oh, open water. I'm happy to open."
So it seems we found an answer to many questions, and yet more proliferate. Interesting.
Why is the hatch from the floor up here?
It's about 10 feet up in the air.
Oh God.
That's pretty high.
I look at my two compatriots, thinking about which one probably weighs the least. Miss, can I raise you up there and you open the hatch?
I don't know, man. Who's got the highest strength here?
Oh, maybe not me. I don't seem to have very
high out of Wilhelmina and Craigmar, who's got the highest strength? Because that's gonna determine your density here.
Are we
My strength is 12.
Okay,
7, so.
you're a muscular lady, and you are bigger.
What is
than
your Craigmar?
Mine is 7, apparently, according to this sheet.
Wow. Well, I've got all 9, so.
I had really good rolls.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's weird. I'm like the least. I'm like the least anything of all the things, probably.
I didn't rig that. You rolled your own dice, right?
Well, I don't know. I'll be honest. I can't remember how that worked. I think actually.
Let's just move on. Don't worry about that.
It's fine.
I am
always
uncertain of my origins. I question all of existence.
He's having a crisis now. He's kind of just holding his head, running around the room. He's like,
I question everything.
Levi's obviously been drinking for a while, and he's not in the best of shape, but it doesn't take much to pull the trigger, so,
Yeah. Well,
So-
I would think Wilhelmina would, her nonsensical kind of way, would just like knock on the thing and be like, open? Just like raises her eyebrows expectantly, like,
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Open the damn door.
I can't open the fucking door. I'd be down there. It's locked. The fucking brain locked it.
Really?
Oh, good.
Yes.
Ah,
Well, do you know how to open it from
Well, if
down
I
here?
knew how to open it, I'd fucking be down there.
No, from down here. We're down here. You know how to open
Oh, that makes sense. Sorry, I'm under a lot of stress. I've been locked up here for some time.
how long?
About 2 years.
2
Are you, what's his, Otto von Duckworth or whatever the hell his name
Are
was?
you?
And Craigmar just shouts over Levi because he knows he's trying to get the name right. He's like,
Are you Amadeus von Drakensberg?
No, I'm not. I'm Percy. I'm his assistant.
and Craigmar's just like, ha!
Percy, of course. We
Levi
found your jacket, sir.
Oh, well, can you
Levi
pass
looks
it up,
at Craigmar.
please?
and says, I was close. I almost had the name.
Mhm. How do we open the door exactly?
Maybe if you can threaten the brain. He's in a fish bowl in the bathroom on top of the toilet. Just give him a shake. Try and get him to open the attic.
Where's the
I'm
bathroom?
not volunteering for that
Huh?
job.
Hold on. Oh no.
Craigmar just looks around and he realizes what throne room means, probably.
Ah, yeah.
He's just like,
Oh no. I believe you'll find him in the throne room.
and he's just like, oh, God.
You want me to go get it?
Yeah,
If you would
Levi,
be so
go-
kind.
have a
But-
look.
But be careful.
Right.
Of course.
Of course. I walk over to the door to the throne room and look at it carefully and try the door. Is it open?
Yeah, as you open the door up, the light comes on, flickers on to its white and black tiled bathroom. Has a clawfoot tub, great big sink, and a toilet with a fishbowl on top with a brain in it
Mm.
and a small bottle next to it.
Just as the man said.
Hey, you in there? Tunk, tunk, tunk. Hit it with my rifle gently.
Oh no.
In
Catch
your
it, or,
head,
like,
you hear the voice say,
I love it, it's
"Please,
like, I hit it.
oh,
It's like I hit it with my rifle gently. It's like what?
please
then
stop!
again, that's how Levi is.
Don't hit my bowl! Oh.
Alright, open the attic.
He doesn't respond to you shouting at him.
And Craigmar just turns around and he's like,
What did we do before, Levi? Remember, think it.
I think
And then
open
we-
the door to the attic or
No.
explore the plumbing.
and then I'm just like,
Remember, just one word. I believe that was the stipulation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I do that one
So-
word
One
at a
word a
time. It takes me a little while.
and then and then I so and then I'm just like, and Craigmar's just like,
Fine. One of us think open, the other one think the, and the third one think attic. How does that sound? It may take us 3 minutes to get this open, but it will be worth it. I'm
You-
almost certain.
You can only communicate, you figure out you can only communicate one word between the three of you once per minute.
Oh.
yeah, exactly. So, okay, well, no, but that's what I mean. You think the first one, then you think the second one, then you think the third one, in that order.
Oh, over the course of 3 minutes?
Yes, that's what
Okay.
he's saying. That's what
Okay.
Craigmar's on about. He's kind of cottoned on to how the system works.
Okay, as you
Right.
begin this small mini sentence over 3 minutes, it takes a long time. You can hear Percy in the background. What are you doing down there? And as you're thinking it, the voice is going, open what? Open the what? What are you? What? Oh, no. I will not open the attic because Percy up there is a zombie and he tried to eat me because I'm a delicious brain.
Well, this complicates things.
We'll protect
If
you.
it's true.
He's a zombie.
Rushing people in the throne room isn't very polite. Good lord, MBG.
Is the fishbowl permanently attached to anything?
No, it's not, and you can pick the fishbowl up. Next to it is a small bottle that says Captain Nom Nom's Fish Food.
All right, I'll take the bottle and the fish tank out and hand them to Grigor. Because we may need this guy more than just there. And then Levi goes back into the bathroom and closes the door and does his business.
Alcohol.
There's been a lot of gin consumed tonight.
You can just hear him in the background, just filling that throne.
Yeah. And he's humming to himself.
You just hear the noise in the distance.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Romina looks at the fish and says out loud, of course, we'll give you food if you open the attic door.
Did he check if it would flush first?
Oh, congratulations to Phil, aka Mostly Blind Gamer. He fixed his toilet today, guys.
I know.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh.
I was excited for it.
Big
Well,
news.
congratulations. Big news.
It was
Breaking
quite
news.
Yeah.
Sorry, I mean,
It was
We have
breaking news, trust me.
Mostly Blind Gamer fixed his toilet.
This
More on that
stream,
story later.
we were going to run streams to raise money for a new toilet, but now we don't need to because he fixed it. Fantastic.
yeah.
Hey, Levi's a former soldier. He doesn't flush. He just comes off.
Yeah, that fits. Yeah.
Mm,
Pretty much the world is his urinal, so.
nice. Nice.
On brand.
Yeah.
On brand.
Mm, makes enough sense. So,
So you stand in a hallway with a fish bowl with a brain in it, some fish food called Captain Nom Nom's Fish Food. There's a zombie in the attic asking what's going on, and there's a drunken soldier peeing in the toilet.
That sounds
Just wanted to
That seems-
clarify.
that sounds. Yeah, previously on Electric Bastionland.
about.
I see no problem with this.
No,
neither
it's fine.
do I. It sounds about right. Feels like a LucasArts point and click. Like, it really does. Is that just me, or is no?
Sam and Max. Yeah.
Day of the fishbowl.
Ah,
don't know.
what a great game. Day of the
Tentacle. Yeah. Was actually no, it's close to flipping Maniac Mansion at this point.
Oh,
'Cause we're in a-
yeah.
Well, in the sense of we're in a manor house that's infested with goodness knows what.
I don't know what's crazier, the mansion or your characters, to be honest.
Ooh, good point. Good point.
I think they feed on each other
Hmm.
They
successfully.
feed on each other, just like zombies on brains. Not a good analogy to use right now, I suppose.
Yeah, if he is a zombie up there, I've got a fistful of cures, and I hold up the hand with the rifle cartridges, and he's cleaning each ink.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Although with my statistics I now find, I'm really doubting if I can hit anything.
Oh god.
The good thing is, Craigmar may not be he may not be the strongest or the most charismatic or the most dexterous, but at least he's sober. So if really needed, he could probably hit a shot. Whether it would land where he wanted it to is up to fate.
So what's really cool in Electric Bastionland is that in combat you don't roll to hit, you just roll damage. So it's the severity
I remember
of your
seeing
attack.
that now. Actually, yeah.
It's really cool.
Remember seeing
Well, That's why I'm the deadliest shot in the world.
You might just do 1 damage at a time, but yeah.
Yeah, that's it'd be like the thing has 100 health, and it's like
We could be here for a while.
You know,
as Levi's just like 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, and then like several hours later, 98, 99. Oh no, it's just re-raised its health bar again.
no, I ran out of bullets at 99.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't rely on my abilities. I rely on my good looks to get through life.
So the question is, how do we
get out of this rather puzzling situation?
I think as usual, Wilhelmina's just gonna look at the brain and say out loud, "We'll protect you." And she gestures over at Levi with his gun, and the war master here, and and we'll feed you. And she grabs the food and holds it up and shakes it a little bit, like, yeah. Can you open the attic?
There's no response.
Of course there's a and
Jiggle around a little bit.
Crickmore just looks incredulously. He's just like, really? That's what he's thinking. He's not going to say it out loud.
That's true. We have to think that at the brain, I'm pretty sure.
Good, you're learning.
He just looks at Levi. He's like, yep,
Hey,
you're getting
I
it.
listen. I don't always understand, but I listen.
That's fine by me, Levi.
If he's good looking, then it needs to be rolled by a D10. What? Okay.
We can check
don't
his
think-
charisma save, Blind Toes. What's Levi's charisma, Temple?
9.
9?
He's got
Okay.
9s across the board.
He's not that good looking.
Nice.
He's all right.
I love the way you say, he's alright. I don't know if that was me just hearing it like that, but that's what it sounded like. Like he's not that good looking. He's alright. He's...
Oh dear.
What is he, like a 7?
He's a 9 out of 20. He's
Oh,
okay.
well counted. Well counted. Well counted, GM. Good stuff. So, are you gonna roll for that? You're gonna know.
So we have to think again. But how can we convince it? Well, convincing it is going to take an arduously long time.
I got 3 words. Open or die. We gotta
I
stick
like your
piece of brain
style.
in a jar.
Yes, I understand.
We got a toilet right in here needs flushing.
So your 3 words, Levi, would be flush the throne, would it?
And he just looks and smiles and just laughs. He's like, kind of thing, as he realizes how potentially amusing that might be.
What's
Okay,
going
we
on
fixed
down
that
there?
at the brain.
Oh, what?
Hello? What's going on?
We're working on the problem.
Craigmar just sort of bellows back just to make sure that Percy can definitely hear him.
Okay, I'll wait
We're having to think outside the box, if you'll pardon the expression.
I don't understand the pun. I can't hear everything down there.
What?
I don't understand the pun.
Fine.
Levi will yell through the door. Are you a zombie?
No, I'm not a zombie, you cretin. I'm a revenant.
The difference being...
A zombie is a mindless fool. I have come back from the dead. And I'm still in my mind.
You eat brains?
Maybe. Who's asking?
It is.
Well,
The guy with the rifle?
Oh, shit.
Ah, that's what I thought.
Perfect response.
Mhm.
So, would you... If we were able to let you out, would you curtail your brain-eating habits with reference to the brain we have here?
Yes, I'm not going to eat it. I just wanted to taste. I was bored. I've been in here for a year on my own, and I just wanted to see what it tasted like. I'm not some mindless zombie going around eating.
And Craigmire just looks at the other two and he just goes,
Do you trust him?
Well, no. But you know, we could try safe open door. Or, you know.
If you wait until like 11:55 tonight, I can give you the brain of somebody recently dead.
That's very specific.
Yeah, it was.
What?
Would you
What are you
Not
doing
eat fish
here?
brain.
Why are you here? Are you robbing the place? What's going on anyway?
A mission from God.
Which one?
well said.
He got me there.
Craigmire's like,
How much do we tell this revenant or whatever he is? I don't know whether it's a good idea to reveal all immediately.
Don't tell him. He's not alive. I'm allowed all of those I want.
and Phil says, "Did you bring pamphlets?" Oh God. Oh, we need we need to figure this out. This is taxing.
Well, would you like to threaten or persuade? That's the question we have here.
I tend to go with threatened every time. Persuading would be nice for a change.
Okay.
I stand to agree with this. I believe we should save our ability to intimidate for when it is most necessary.
All right.
he's just like, I know we're probably going to need to threaten stuff later down the line. We don't want to use all our energy at once. The Blues Brothers. Oh God.
Right. So
Blind toes, come
want,
on.
Do we want to say safe open door? Anyone?
Go right ahead.
Fine.
Or protection, maybe?
Yes, protection, as in we will protect. So, I suppose protection's as good a word as any. Let's try this.
How about protection and open? He knows what we want. 2 minutes.
Yeah. Fine.
All right, let's
I
start
like
the
your
timer.
style. Economizing.
As you...
Yeah, so Craigmire's just trying to think. He's got his face screwed up and he's like, all this thinking. He's just like, come on.
Because that's the thing as well. Like when you guys are thinking these words, you happen to spend that whole minute concentrating on the word. So it's not like you can do other things while you're doing this.
No.
Okay. Well, I guess that's
Good
what
to
we're
be
doing.
aware of. Good to be aware of for later.
Straining ourselves to think of the
Just like anime power up thing. Just
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z.
just type in
Yeah.
Fraser!
That's great.
That was actually better than I'd expected. This isn't even my final form. Anyway, yes. Thinking of things for multiple minutes at a time would likely put a strain on anybody. Concentrating on a single word is the only source of thought. The
Wilhelmina,
question.
what words are you thinking of?
I'm thinking, since we agreed to persuade, protection and open, because he knows what door we want to open.
Okay.
So,
And
you
I am
think?
joining. I'm joining in that as well.
All right, amplifying the signal as
Exactly.
you guys think about it. And
Levi, are you
starts
joining in?
Amplify it. He's right there.
I mean, you don't have to join in, Levi. Like Wilhelmina's
No, I was just
broadcasting it.
asking.
Levi can stand
Greg Miles
guard. It's
helping.
fine.
I'm standing guard.
Good point.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Maggots, gin, brain. Ugh. In the chat from Toes once again.
As you communicate this, as Levi stands watching the other door that you hadn't been in yet, that had the plaque Amadeus von Drakensberg on, you communicate the message over 2 minutes, and then the voice in your head comes back to you and says, I will agree to open the door as long as I have your protection, and as a sign of goodwill, maybe perhaps you can give me some of my nom-noms.
Aha.
Craig looks down at the bottle of food and is like,
Well, this all makes sense. Well, even if it doesn't, it does. Ah. Oh well. What do we want to think now? Just maybe the word yes might suffice?
I don't wait for him to answer or to think of the next word. I just think gin and hold out my hand. That is worth a shot.
Yeah,
and he's
I
just
think
like,
we'll just.
he's just like,
That will only confuse him, probably. It'll only confuse the brain.
We can just sprinkle the food in there in agreement.
yeah,
We'll see
good
what
point.
happens.
Yeah.
As you sprinkle the food into the brain itself begins to squidge and move as if it's absorbing the food, and the voice in your head goes, oh yeah, this is good, yeah, yeah. And as this happens, the hatch to the attic lowers and a ladder falls down. And a
They've
voice
raised the
from-
rifle ready to fire.
As you train your rifle up, you follow this man climbing down the ladder. He's in tattered clothes, and he's got holes through him as if he's been shot before, and a few scars. He still looks human, but he's clearly been beaten up badly. As he gets to the bottom, he dusts himself off, and he says, "Thank you very much for getting me out of there. No thanks for you, Johann, you little shit."
I tell him, I said, you don't look like a preacher.
Not a preacher. What?
You said you were a reverend.
Bloody hell.
And Craigmore just looks at him, and because he hasn't like properly laughed for ages, he just bursts out laughing. He's just like,
Good lord.
Exactly.
Well, that's a pun in itself. But even then, Levi, you should have heard what he said. He is a revenant.
and he just gestures.
A reverend is something completely different.
I thought it was just a fancier version. Okay.
Fair enough.
He's just got the biggest grin on his face just because it's under the circumstances. It's the funniest thing he's heard in a while.
Mina takes the fishbowl, I think,
And
and
it-
says,
yeah.
"We should put this away for safekeeping."
And
Anyone?
Craigmore just says to Percy,
I sincerely apologize. That was rather uncouth of me, but it was rather amusing under the circumstances.
I understand comparing me to some kind of propagandist is funny, but anyway, thank you for letting me out. Well, what are you doing here? As I asked, are you just robbing the place, or what's going on?
Who wishes to tell him?
I just sort of huddle in with, Craigmore just huddles in with, he just takes Wilhelmina and Levi aside. He's just like,
What do we say, and how much do we give information-wise to this revenant?
Enough to get him to tell us what we need to know, and then I'll just turn off the lights.
Hmm.
he looks, he's like, yep, I get what you're saying.
I won't disagree.
Fine.
I-
Yeah. And he
Wilhelmina
just sort
wants
of
to take the.
he just looks at one. He just looks at the other two, and he's like, "Yep, you say it." That's the kind of the look he's giving.
Wilhelmina wants to take the brain and go back into the throne room with it, and come out as you hear the toilet flushing, but no one knows what really happened. Locks the door behind her. So,
Oh,
You know.
okay.
Would a human brain
You-
fit down a toilet? I don't know.
That is
spoiler,
that-
she didn't flush it.
I was going to say this and other
Well,
existential questions that we do not wish to ask.
Probably not though, if I had to guess. So wouldn't recommend. 0 out of 10. No, no.
Well, we
Literally,
probably still need it to get into the vault, so
exactly.
Like I said, I didn't
Well-
flush it. I just flushed the toilet because someone civilized person.
Yeah, yes.
It was like that when I went in there.
It was like that when you left.
Well, yeah,
Anyway,
they may
Yes.
not have been done.
Anyway, yes. Hmm.
but she comes out having done that and just says, "Well, we should tell him we're trying to get to the underground. Maybe he can help us."
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Wilhelmina, do you wish to do the honors of revealing our goals here?
You realize the guy's standing there listening to us this whole time.
No,
I
we
can
didn't-
hear everything.
We didn't quite, we didn't, well, no, I did say I took you aside. So, well,
Oh,
Craig,
yeah.
I took you aside. That's what I mean.
Forget that. Can't hear a word. I'm over here.
See, I was thinking of that. I was like, we
Yeah.
don't want him to hear it.
True, true. I've kept the rifle trained on his head this whole time.
He's got the side of his head that's missing an ear towards you, so don't worry.
Oh God,
Oh,
that's
well.
what
Oh,
it was.
man.
Done.
Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Has his eyes been shot out?
No.
Ooh.
Because that gives one a considerable advantage, I've found.
Blind Toad said,
Yeah.
hopefully she washes her hands. Ugh. Nice.
You'll
Oh,
never
so,
know. You'll never know what
no-
happened in the bathroom. Stays in the bathroom.
Oh, God. And also earlier, MBG said, nom nom.
Mm. Oh, yeah,
Or-
good.
or-
Yeah.
Or should that just be,
Om nom 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 nom.
Nom, 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 nom. Captain Nom Nom's fish food. It's going to be sold online soon.
Yep.
yeah, coming to you worldwide from various retailers. Oh, God.
But yeah, I guess Wilhelmina will talk to him. We're Percy, right? Yeah.
Yes. Hello. What's your name, miss?
Mina. You can call me Mina.
Mina. It's a strange name.
Yeah, it's short for Wilhelmina. My father was a traditionalist. We're trying to get to the underground. Do you know anything about it?
Oh, of course, yes. I did a lot of research on it and helped Master Amadeus to get down there and begin mapping it. And then once he cottoned on to the whereabouts of the Iron Heart, he sort of just disappeared down there, and I was left here. That's when I got a bit bored and tried to eat Johann just for a laugh.
And all this time, Kregmar, even when he mentioned the Iron Heart, Kregmar tries his best to keep his face inscrutable. He's just like, he's not trying to let on that he knows anything, or that that's why they're here. He's just like, yeah, okay.
Oh, did you get a chance to look in on my farm downstairs? I've neglected it for 2 years.
Your what?
Oh, I have a maggot farm in the kitchen to keep me sustenance.
Oh, it's thriving. You should check it out.
Oh, wonderful.
But before you do that, can you help us get into the underground?
Oh, yes, of course. You got me down from there, from that fucker Johann. Of course I'll help you. Yes,
Alright.
I can help you with a bit of Amadeus' research as well and show you that.
That sounds good.
And-
Lead the way.
And yeah,
Did
Yeah.
Mr. Duckworth, did he have any valuables that may be laying around?
See, he means Drakensberg, right? Is
Yes, he does indeed mean Drakensberg, and I apologize for the mispronunciation earlier. It was the heat of the moment when our friend Levi here was trying to get your name right, or rather, your master's name.
I see. Yes.
But he does indeed mean Drakensberg, yes.
Yes. Oh, okay. So yes, Master Drakensberg research is just in the study over there. If you want to take a look, Levi.
Thanks. You go first.
Okay.
I assume you still have your rifle trained on him, Levi.
Oh yeah, the entire time.
He's very nervous.
Understandably so, but also, yeah.
He walks up to the door that has a sign that reads Amadeus von Drakensberg, and he opens it up, and inside there are display cases full of curios. There's a desk that also has more abstract drawings similar to the ones that you picked up, Wilhelmina. And on top of all of them is a leather-bound journal. As Percy goes in, he walks past the curios in the cabinet and moves the journal and begins to look through the maps.
I can't remember where I left it, the most recent one. The underground changes so often. I just need it so that I can draw it on the door down there and get you access to where you need to go.
And
Shit.
What is it?
It might be in the kitchen. I think I left it down there, actually. It's been 2 years.
and Craig Moore at this point looks at Mina and sort of just, looks at her and sort of taps her on the shoulder. Hold on a minute. And so Craig Moore looks at Mina, and sort of taps her on the shoulder and sort of says, sort of whispers to her,
That's book. Do you have it? Or was that on Levi's person? The one with all the notes.
I have it in here somewhere. She's wearing like a big trapper jacket or something, and it's like shaking around her pockets. Pulls the book out and holds up the paper to show him, and it's like, "Is this what you're looking for?"
Ah, wonderful. Thank you very much, miss. Okay. Yes, let's take that. And, okay. Let's head on downstairs and get you into the underground then. All right.
Levi checks the room first. Is there a bar?
There's no
Or an
bar.
alcohol cabinet or something like that?
No,
surely
but
Levi would just ask, like,
in
it'd just be-
in the display cases, Levi, amongst all the curios, there is a bottle with a blue liquid in, but you're not sure what it is.
Take that.
Okay.
Can I get into the cabinet?
Yeah, absolutely. You can just open the door and let yourself in.
I would advise asking what that is first before you try and consume it, Mr. Reason.
Oh, I totally intend to, but not a dead guy. Obviously, he doesn't have self-preservation at heart.
No, but I would be careful if I were you. Once
there any-
again,
Yeah. Is there anything in the curios that look like it might be able to kill somebody with it?
I guess standout items
A
here
weapon.
would be, there's no weapons, but you see like a flute made of bone and a tin whistle,
Ooh.
but you don't see any weapons.
Hey, Percy, what's all this stuff do? Does it do anything? Or is
yeah,
it just for chuckles?
No, it's a bunch of old tosh that he found in the underground, so there's the blue liquid you just picked up. I believe it gives you immunity to electrocution for a period of time. And
That would have been recently useful. I slide it into one of my coat pockets.
I was thinking precisely the same thing. Uh,
So does all this stuff do things?
yeah, the bone flute over there, if you play it, all insects within earshot of it'll come over. I suppose insects don't have ears, but you know what I mean.
within antenna shot, perhaps?
That's the one.
Hang on, I got to take some notes here. In real life, not as.
Levi just kind of
Levi's not taking notes.
Oh my God.
Levi just kind of grabs like the nearest sharp element he could find to hand and just kind of scratches it into the table. Then realizes that like the table isn't going to be a thing he can take with him. He's like, "Oops."
Mm.
He starts to scratch notes into the table. He's like,
And for our
I
audience,
feel like-
I'm going to ask a question about every one of these items. So if you need to go to the bathroom or get a drink or something, that would be.
I imagine Jim is ready for you.
Yes.
But I feel like Mina would have snagged that flute and been like, yeah, my dad taught me to play the flute. You know, as the woods
Yeah.
person she is. She's
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
for that and would like just casually drop it down into her jacket.
Oh yeah, these should all go to whoever can use
Yeah.
them the most.
Oh, yeah. We'll take them all. One of us will have something. It's fine.
Okay, what was after the bone flute?
So the bone flute can attract every insect within antenna shot.
Right. I like that. What's after that one?
So
The blue
next
liquid.
up, Percy shows
well,
you
yeah.
a can of paint. It looks like.
It's like this one. If you paint it or throw it on something, it brings out bright colours and makes it visible to everyone. Very bright.
Sort of an anti-invisibility serum?
I suppose
sort.
so. If you're invisible.
You know what I mean.
He's just like, yes, you do. You know what I'm getting at. And also the blue liquid was for immunity to electrocution. Should you wish
Yes.
to note that down?
Yeah,
If I'm
I got it.
remembering rightly, GM.
that one went into my pocket.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I suppose if you want to stop your insides from being electrocuted, drinking that's not a bad way to start.
He's got some blue lightning in his pocket. He's got.
Yeah.
new alcohol.
Yeah. What's after the can of paint?
After the can of paint, Percy pulls. So there's other like little curios in there that don't
Right.
really do much, but he pulls out the next one, a flat cap, and he pulls it out. And he's like,
This one's a bit useless, really. It regenerates. If you break it or burn it or destroy it, it's just a flat cap that regenerates that he found down there.
Oh, does that look like Craigmore kind of looks at it and he wonders if it looks anything like the flat caps that him and the party saw Harkin and everybody wearing back at the, I'm gonna say compound, whatever that room was that we never found out what it was.
Mhm.
They were all wearing flat caps. Well, dungeon, I wouldn't have gone quite that far. Well, maybe, I don't know.
I
The-
did.
The prison cell then, torture
It's-
chamber. I don't know.
Imagination was whatever you wanted to do.
The whatever it is, the place. Does it look like the flat caps that they were all wearing? Because that sounds.
I mean, it's similar, but there's no correlation of design that would make you think they're linked.
Nope, just curious. That's
Yeah.
all.
Does it look
Yeah,
like
no,
it could keep your head warm?
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I mean, it's a cool looking flat cap.
Oh, hell, I'll put that on.
Yeah, absolutely. You're wearing it.
I mean,
feel
flat
like that
caps.
fits.
Why not? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Craigmore has a fancy hat in his inventory.
Does he? Hold on. I believe. Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
He actually does.
exactly. What's your fancy hat like?
It's. I don't know. It's kind of a. It's one of those sort of cap with a feather in it type thing. One of those kinds of deals. It's a sort of a note of rank where he's from,
Yeah.
arguably, or either that or he found it. Somebody nicked it off of someone from where he's from, and he took it back and he was like, "I'm keeping this."
Oh hell yeah!
Um,
A feather in your hat? That's badass.
I mean, why not, right? Like,
Yeah.
hell. And the feather might be, I don't know. Maybe the feather might have properties or something. I don't know. Well, Craigmore certainly doesn't know at this point.
Percy will pull the last curio out of any use, quote unquote. It's a tin whistle, and he goes, "Oh, I like this one," and he blows into it and whistles, and these colourful sparks come out, like pinks and purples and reds and blues and oranges. Just colourful sparks shoot out as you blow into the tin whistle.
So, you say you like it, but what does it actually do? How do those sparks manifest? Do you know?
No idea. Here you go.
And Craigmar kind of looks at it, and he's just sort of thinking. You can see the sort of cogs whirring in his head. He's like, I suppose this could be useful for like a flare or something, like an alert of, maybe trouble, distress, or good things. I don't know. It could be used as a sign of things this way, like follow this. You know what I mean? Possibly a method of navigation in the underground to an extent. And blind Toes is like, it's the Jack Sparrow cap. You mean the one that Craigmar's wearing? Possibly. Who knows?
Levi will model the flat cap that he just acquired, and he looks across at Mina. How do I look? Dashing, right?
I mean, marginally better.
Like a 10 out of 20, I guess.
Oh, wait, I can feel it doing something. It's a hat of head warming.
Wow. Yeah, plus 10
Nice.
to your head warming stat or something.
Hey, plus 1, plus 2 charisma.
Hmm?
I'm game.
Let's make sure all of these items go to somebody different so that we can access them if we need to in the
Yeah.
emergency.
Well, I got the flute.
I've got the
I have the sparkly whistle, whatever you want to call it. I don't know.
I'm sure it'll be useful.
I could,
And you got the hat and the electric water. So
Craigmar couldn't be bothered to think of a better name for it in the moment, but maybe he will later. But right now he's just content that they found a few useful things in the for the underground.
We've got the can of paint that does the kind of fairy fire effect.
that might fit in my jacket if you guys want. Unless Cragmire wants it. Either way.
You take it. It's yours. You may find it useful with your, I don't know, tracking abilities, making things additionally visible. For instance, who knows?
You make them visible and I'll shoot them.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds
She
like a
shoves
good
it in her
plan.
jacket pocket.
And Levi took the blue bottle and the cap of head warming.
It's official now. It's
Yep.
That is the official name of it. Yeah.
Oh, hang on, let me note
Oh,
that.
wait. the regenerating cap of head warming. Don't forget that part.
Yeah.
even cooler.
Yeah.
Hang
It's
on.
important. It's important to remember that.
Oh, that can of paint, Wilhelmina, counts as a bulky item, by the way. So
Do I have any other bulky items?
I don't
You've
think
got the-
so.
Only one with the strength to carry it.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
there's that.
Because the
I
because
guess
of the
I'll
Google
carry
rolls.
the group.
Now carrying the group counts as a very bulky item. Sorry, I had
Either way.
to. I'm so sorry, I had to.
But
It was right there.
That's fine. That's fine.
Take
I don't
5.
think you have penalties until you have 2, right? Or am I remembering that wrong?
Yeah, if you get 2 bulky items, it reduces your
Okay.
hit protection to 0. Hit protection
Okay,
is basically
okay.
hit points. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm good with 1 then. Okay, we're all right.
Okay.
I'm just noting that down myself on stuff.
Yeah, I'll
It's
put
no
all
rules.
this in our shared chat
Yeah.
after the session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah, Percy closed up the cabinets and he goes, well, there you go, you got some prezzies out of it as well. All right, are we off to the underground then?
Why not?
Sure. Lead
Well-
the way.
Just one more thing. The guy I'm going to shoot later down there said we had to come out and tell them if we found the underground. Right? Or did I
Yeah.
Did he?
not remember that?
I believe he said we must inform him of what we found and when we found it, essentially.
Oh, well, all right.
Basically, we need to return to him and converse.
Oh, well,
At least that's what I understood of it. I could be
That's-
incorrect.
well, that's possible to do after he's dead, so fine with me.
All right.
It's always important to get them in the right order.
Exactly.
All right, let's go. I'll still watch our friend.
Levi, you cover him. And
Yeah.
we will follow. Well, we'll follow you, Percy. Lead the way.
Onwards
I'll,
and downwards, then. Let's go.
Onwards
He-
and downwards. I like that.
He begins to.
Levi will stay at the top of the stairs until they get all the way down, so that he can have a clear field of fire if Percy does anything.
Well, Percy makes
Okay.
a V-line for the kitchen pretty quick to grab a handful of maggots and stuff them in his mouth. And then he comes back over towards the big safe door. Oh, delightful.
Okay. All right, let's get this door open. Get you in the underground, shall we?
Sounds fine to me. We've waited long enough.
Okay. And that's where we'll end our game tonight, everyone.
Yeah. I was
Yay!
wondering where you were going to leave it off, but yay! But also, oh God, please.
Thanks to everyone for tuning in, and thanks to Temple, SK, and Danny for playing. And we'll be back next week, next Thursday at 5:30 p.m. EST again.
It's been very, very good fun. It's been great. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks.
You guys are great. I love your
Yeah.
characters.
I'm looking forward to Warmaster Kragmar's I wouldn't say reverse humiliation is the wrong word, but basically redeeming himself from the brute force attempt earlier on that door. Looking forward to.
Doors can be tricky.
It wasn't a bad idea under the doors can be tricky.
It says the regular TTRPG player. Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it in
Yeah.
or out? Or...
Yeah.
Is it a push? Is it a pull? Is it controlled by an
Exactly.
automated thing? Brain in a fishbowl?
German brain and a
Hey.
fishbowl.
German brain in a fishbowl.
I stumped my nieces and nephews in D&D for 45 minutes because the door didn't open in and out. It slid inside the wall.
Oh my god, you
Not a
monster.
bucket door.
Absolute monster.
Wow.
They were looking for things to flip and code words,
Oh my
and
god.
it was hilarious.
Oh,
Good lord.
that's when
No,
you
thank
rage
you
quit.
so much.
Bucket door.
I've really enjoyed this. It's been a great first session, and
Yeah.
I'm definitely curious to see where this goes.
Mm.
Yep, me too.
Well, I mean, I
Alright,
see where it does
guys.
go. It goes underground, but you know.
Yeah, well,
The puns in this game, yeah.
Well,
We're
I
gonna
mean,
have to
it's
do something
space
about these
time,
puns.
so
So previously
Is it
on the next
underground?
episode of yesterday's stream
Ooh.
or something. I don't know.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll say bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.